What's up, guys? Echo036 and coming back at you with some more finds. I haven't posted nothing in about a couple of weeks, but I wait till, if I don't really find much, I wait till I gather as much things as possible. So I wanted to just show a couple of games so I can just show y'all the amount of games. And I haven't really been finding much until these last couple weekends, and so here we go. I'm gonna start off with some games from the flea market. I found these two for $5, and these are games I already have, but for two for $5 it was pretty good. And actually, as I picked these up and I paid for them, actually there was a gamer behind me that just came up and started digging through games, but I had already picked all these through. And also I had bought a Nintendo for $5. It had Excitebike in it, so the guy wanted $5 for it. So I was like, it has Excitebike, even if the Nintendo doesn't work, it still has Excitebike in there. So for $5, I just, when you open up the system and it has a game inside, typically the vendors don't really know there's a game inside. So I was like, I'll take a chance on it, and Nintendo did end up working. But like I was saying, there was some gamers behind me, and they came up, and I could tell they were gamers because they had like gaming, Super Mario Brothers t-shirts and stuff. And so they were like, oh, so they went digging through games, but I had already picked these up. So, and these were 2 for $5. There's Donkey Kong Jr., Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Metroid, Roadrunner. I didn't have this one, so it was cool to get it. Contra, which this one's going up in price. I mean, I think this one's about a $20 game now, since about a year ago. And Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And like I said, I already had those, but 2 for $5. He was just like, hey bro, 2 for $5. So I had to pick those up. And this isn't game related, but I was at a booth and this guy had a bunch of toys, and he sold me these for, at first he said $1 each, and he gave them to me for $2 for the whole thing. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, a foot soldier. They didn't have any of the weapons or anything. Casey Jones. And this Ninja Rabbit. I remember him from the cartoons, but I can't remember his name right now. But I do remember him from the cartoons. And he threw in this little Jawa. He just threw him in there, so you can have that too. Because I basically approached him like this: how much are each of these? And he said they're $1, and he's like, well, just give me $2 and just take all of them. And I was like, what about this little one? He's like, you can just have that. So that was nice of him. And then I picked up some more Nintendo games. These are in rough shape, but I did need these. There were 2 for $5, and the first one is Mule. It's got Reynolds stickers on here, and the funny thing is, it says Star Video, 3204 North Main Street. That is where I used to rent games as a kid. I used to rent Nintendo games, and then along with Super Nintendo games. But this video game store was close to my house when I was a kid, and that's where we used to rent games. So I thought it was kind of funny it had that Star Video label on there. And then I got Destiny of an Emperor. So both of those were $5. Mule is in very bad shape. I mean, this thing is kind of beat up. And I found at the flea market Legend of the Dragoon. It's a greatest hits. It has all the discs in there, but I got it for $2. And if anyone wants to trade me an NES game for it, be my guest, because I'm not going to play this. It does have all the discs. It has everything in there. If you want to trade me an NES game that I don't have, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know. Send me a PM. And I actually found some Atari games, and these were 50 cents each. So I couldn't. These were the only 4 that they had. This guy had Cosmic Arc, Quick Step, Atlantis. I remember playing Atlantis for the I used to have Atlantis for the Intellivision when I was younger. And Keystone Capers. So nothing too out of the ordinary. but I got those for 50 cents, so I couldn't pass those up. And I also picked up this little Yoshi toy, and the lady was selling it, she just told me 10 cents. I gave her a quarter, and I just told her just to keep the, I didn't need my 15 cents back, so I just gave her a quarter. But you see how the tongue comes up? I don't know if this was part of a, like a board game, or there was more pieces to it, like a little hoop where you try to catch it. I don't know. I just saw it was Yoshi, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So the lady wanted 10 cents. I just gave her a quarter because, like I said, I didn't need my change back. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I got at a booth, I got Tetris boxed for $5, and Star Trek: The Next Generation for $5. I paid $5 because I didn't have it, and it was either this or don't find anything. So at the flea market, come away empty-handed. So I just had to pick it up. So Star Trek: The Next Generation and a box Tetris. This is box complete with manual and everything. So I didn't have this boxed. And I also picked up the Flintstones: The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. And this box for Bad Dudes, this was $2. So it has the box and the manual for $2. I mean, it was a okay deal. The box isn't in the greatest shape ever, but it's pretty cool just to have it. There we go. And also found Sonic Adventure, and this was $3. So I've never had Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. The disc is in awesome shape. So Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. And this one, I was really happy to find this Capcom Classics Collection. This is volume 1. And actually at another booth this weekend, I had picked this up a couple weekends ago, but at another booth about this past weekend, I saw a lady selling the volume 2 collection. And so I was like, cool, she might want, you know, she wants $5. I'm just gonna go for it, so I can have both volumes. And so I told her, well, how much for the game? And she said $12. And I was like, never mind. For $12, I can't even. I probably wouldn't even tuck her down to. Probably tuck her down to 10, but that was still a lot of money. So I was like, nah, I'll just stick with this one. And I did do a trade with somebody off Craigslist. He had a whole list of games, and I picked out the ones I didn't have, and I said, hey, this is what I have. So I made a list. And surprisingly, it was a guy who I did a trade with the time before, but this time we're going back and forth by text message, and last time we were going back and forth by email. So I really didn't know until he mentioned his truck, what type of car he's going to be driving. And so I was like, oh man, I think I did a trade with this guy. And so it was the same guy. And last time I said I was kind of weird that he relisted everything exactly. He relisted the games that he just traded with me in there to trade, but he says he does that because those are all his games, and he's trying to see, you know, what's out there. So we talked for a little bit, and he traded me. I traded him Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, and a couple of other games. And so I got Pac-Man, which surprisingly enough, I don't have any of the Pac-Man games for the Nintendo. That's a series that I just do not have any games. You know, this is my first Pac-Man game. So Pac-Man, Captain Planet, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, Boulder Dash, and it has like, this one has like looks like some damage to the cartridge, and Daydreaming Davy. So we did a trade. It's pretty cool, just to get rid of some of my doubles, and then in turn get some that I didn't have, because you have to spend money on games that you don't have. So at the flea market, my last and final thing that I found, and it was so awesome to find this, but now the task of collecting the cords and everything for it is going to be another task in itself. So I'm going to just show you guys what I got. It has a loose speaker in there. but I can fix that. It still works. I got the Miracle Piano for the I believe it's used for the Super Nintendo, Nintendo, and the computer. It has a port in the back where you can get the connections, but it did not have any of the cords. It was just like this. And every time I go to flea market, thrift store, wherever, if I see a stack of keyboards, I look through there just to see, just in case if I find one of these, because you never know, one of these might sneak up in there, in the keyboards. And there was a stack of keyboards, and it finally paid off, because I had been for years just looking through keyboards, just in case I find a Miracle Piano, just in case, you know, because you never know. And surely enough, one snuck in there, and I was just digging through, and I was like, and I saw the Miracle, and I saw the Nintendo logo. I was like, wow, it paid off, because the guy had like 3 or 4 of them, and I asked him how much, and he said, well, he said, just give me $8 for it. And I said, does it work? He said yes. And so I don't know how he tested it out, but he said it worked. Now he said 8, so I reached in my wallet and I pulled out $6, and I was like, I'm gonna try and get it for $6. So I reached in my wallet, pulled it out, and I said, hey, will you take $6 for it? I was like, you know, this is pretty much all the loose bills I have. And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So he gave it to me for $6. Now the cords on eBay, I found a cord, and it was $30. So that's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be another task at hand. So, but it was really cool. I have the game for the Nintendo, the Miracle Piano game. So, but it's just awesome to find this. I mean, like I said, you go digging and digging, and you finally come across something like this, and it pays off, because all the times I've dug through keyboards, and you know, countless number of keyboards, and finally just one sneaks in there, and I mean, I'll continue doing that. And that's why I look through old TVs. Like when I'm at Goodwin, I see the big tube TVs all stacked up. I look through them just in case of Vectrex. You never know if Vectrex might sneak up in there, or or basically a Commodore TV might sneak in there. So I always just look through there. And those were all my finds, guys. That's all I had. And quick story, at the flea market, this lady had some games. She had some Super Nintendo games. So I started looking through there, and I pick out a couple, and I tell her, I was going to tell you this story last time, but my battery died out. So I tell her how much, and she said $3 each. So I'm like, cool. So I'm like digging through there, and this vendor hears her that's like over in the next booth, and he like walks over to her, and he's like, how much are you selling for? And she said $3. He goes, no. He goes, you need to send them for more, because when I have my son look on eBay, and he tells me how much it's selling for. He goes, nah, you need to sell them for more. And so the lady was like, oh really? He's like, yeah, you know, sell those for at least 6. And so I'm like, dude, come on, man, you know, this dude just, you know, blocking the sale, you know. And so now she's like thinking twice about it, so I just put him back down. I walked off. There wasn't nothing in there that was interesting. I mean, there was like a Punch Out, Super Mario World, you know, some other games, and I was just like, you know what, if she's gonna listen to this guy, whatever. And I put him back, and I was just like, okay, alright, thanks, bye. So I mean, this guy just totally just telling this lady, hey, you need to, you know, I mean, I understand, you know, if he did it, you know, while I walked off or something, but he was doing it right there to my face, like telling her, no, you need to charge this guy more money. And so, I mean, it's getting to that point now where this dude's over here telling her that, you know, he looks on eBay and prices like that. I mean, you're at a flea market. I did start changing up my strategy a little bit on hunting for games, because I'm not finding as much as I used to at the flea market. So I started going to like resale shops and, you know, resale stores like that people have. I guess they buy in bulk and they just sell it. And I stopped at about 3 of them, and one of them, he didn't have a lot of games, but the ones he did, on the tag it said Amazon price, you know. And then he said, you know, our price, and it just had like a couple of bucks cheaper than Amazon. So I mean, every single thing had like what it goes for on eBay or Amazon, and so I thought that was kind of weird. And so to price every little single thing according to that, I went to a couple more, and they really didn't have much. It was just mainly just a bunch of stuff, furniture. But you never know. You never know when someone might be stashing something like that, and no one's ever been there to that store. So I've been changing up my strategy a little bit, trying to find things at uncommon places now. So, but that's it, guys. That's all I had. Those are all my gaming stuff and the toys I collected there. But that's it. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for all the support, and just keep on, man. Just keep on the good fight. All right, peace.